Hello everyone, Christina here. Welcome to another Friday Live. Today I'm going to be doing some watercolor backgrounds in conjunction with new cling background stamps from Simon Says Stamp. This is from their brand new release, but you could also use any other similar type of background stamps you have in your stash. So this is not specific to just the new stamps, although they're going to look really great with the new stamps. So here are the three stamps we're going to be using today. These two are ones that I designed. This one, I'm not sure who designed it. It may have been Laura Basson. I'm not entirely sure. I do know she loves stuff like this, so it might be her. Okay, so we're going to start. We're going to do these one at a time. We're going to start with this one right here, which is called Throwing Shapes. It's kind of one of those backgrounds you're like, what can I do with it? Can I just stamp it over cardstock and I'm done? Okay, there are so many fun things you can do with it. I'm going to show you just one way to use this background stamp today. We're first going to paint a watercolor background. It doesn't have to be anything specific. We just want some color down on our watercolor paper. The watercolor paints I'm using today are from Magello. This is my palette. This is also a Magello palette. These are Mission Gold paints. I'm also going to need a paper towel. I just have a cloth here, like one of these like reusable cloths that I can dab up any water if I need to. All right, taking a really big, this is a 1-inch wide brush, and I'm just going to wet this entire area. Like I said, we're just putting a layer of color down before we get to the stamping. So this doesn't have to be anything specific. But if you have some favorite colors that you like to use, like you're about to see me use, I'm going to use this pink right here. Someone in the comments just said that my nails match the tape, and it's totally true. And I just dabbed that in there. It's okay. All right, so I'm just going to bring this pink up across this area.
Wondering if thousands of miles away the sky's just as blue. It's as if I'm stuck in yesterday when I'm thinking of you. 'Cause when you have your morning coffee, I'm turning out the lights so I could dream. And when you smile through the screen, I wish you could be with me. So I lay my head to rest when the sun is rising. I'll start a brand new day when the moon is shining. I long to be.
I'm gonna grab my Distress sprayer and just hit this with a little bit of water. Just 3 little sprays, and it's gonna start to get those colors mixing more. You can see it's starting to get like some vertical streaks. That's exactly what I want.
With you in all the places you have been. So today I am time traveling. Da-dun-dun-dun. Oh, today
All right, we're gonna put the watercolors aside for a minute, and we're gonna do our stamping. So this is the stamp we're using. Like I mentioned earlier, it's called Throwing Shapes, and I'm using my Misty for this. And because it's a cling background, I'm going to remove the foam pad that's inside. And now I'm going to be able to use the thicker stamp. I'm gonna put that in there. Put our stamp right on top. And transfer that to the door of the Misty. Okay, I've said this in the past, I'm gonna say it again. We are practicing good stamping techniques here, which means before we stamp and heat emboss, we're gonna use a heat tool, or what is it? Powder tool. Hello, anti-static powder tool. I'm gonna try to not touch it after I apply this powder. It's just a very thin coating of powder, and it's going to cut down on any areas that might attract embossing powder where we haven't stamped. All right, so put that right into the corner. Make sure it's nice and tight in the corner. And I'm going to ink up my stamp here with Versamark ink. And we're actually going to stamp and heat emboss this a couple of times because we want a really thick embossing on top of this. Stamp right down. I'm going to use my Stampin' Bug glider. And now we're going to put on some clear embossing powder. Okay, I'm going to take this out and move my MISTI. I'm leaving that stamp on the door of my MISTI. I'm putting clear embossing powder over this and then shaking it off. I could already tell that because it's watercolor paper and very textured, that it's not filling every single space, like the solid design of it. So that's one of the reasons why we're going to stamp this twice.
Time traveling. And every time.
Okay, you can sort of see the glossiness when I tip it. Now it's a little warped. It doesn't want to sit flat. So as it cools down, I'm just going to keep my other hand holding it flat, hoping it helps. If not, I might have to tape it down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to tape it down just using a little bit of blue painter's tape. And it's going to make sure it stays in the MISTI where I want it, and then stamp down. I'll use my glider once again to really press that down. This is going to apply more Versamark in the areas where I want it. I'm going to use a little bit of white cardstock to pick this up, and then I can apply it to a larger area.
You are closing your eyes, I will be beside you, and my heart will glide across the miles.
Okay, I don't know if you can see, but you can see the texture of the watercolor paper through the embossing powder. I'm hoping I have a solid enough stamp. I don't think I do, but we're going to go ahead and just move forward. All right, we're going to paint a second layer, and we're going to shift the areas of colors just a little bit so that we get kind of like a tone-on-tone effect because of all that clear embossing.
Right to you, 'cause when I dive into the traffic, the echo of your voice is all I hear. I'm never tired of your laughing so far, but ever so near. So I lay my head to rest when the sun is rising. I start a brand new day when the moon is shining. I long to be with you in all the places you have been. So today I'm time traveling. So today I am time traveling.
And now I'm going to hit this with my heat tool again. I'm going to keep it moving because there's already embossing powder on this, so I don't want to remelt it. And it was really warped before, and now it's straightened out quite a bit. So it's a little bit more flat. Here's this background up close. You can see the glossiness on it. Almost has a sparkle because of that texture. Okay, there's one background. We're doing good. So we're going to do a galaxy background. Some of you have seen me do this in the past. It's also all about putting colorful layer underneath and then putting black on top. And then we're gonna stamp our stars in white. It's gonna look really great. Start out with our watercolor paper. Once again, this is Arches watercolor paper. So when it comes to painting galaxy backgrounds, it starts out very similar to what we did with our first background. We're going to do a layer of just clean water over the entire area. Make sure it's nice and wet. And then we're going to come in with similar colors. I'm going to start with the yellow.
So I lay my head to rest is rising. I'll start a brand new day when the moon is shining. I long to be with you in all the places you have been. So today I am time traveling. Da-da-da-da. Oh, today I am time traveling. We could drive along an ocean reflecting the sun, or make a bed of green atop a wide open scene. Under a canvas of blue, I would draw ever nearer to you, to feel the dew on your skin. That is how it would begin. For summer is for falling in love.
Okay, this next step is gonna seem really scary. If you've ever seen me paint a galaxy background, or if you haven't, I should say, you're gonna be like, what in the? You're gonna be concerned, but believe me, it looks good in the end. Okay, I've got some black in my palette down here in the corner. And I want pretty thick black paint, but not like crazy. Like, let me scoot this up here so you can see. About the consistency of like a heavy cream, you know, like heavy whipping cream. All right, so the idea behind painting the black so it looks like a galaxy background is you want to think about painting clouds and keeping some areas without black and some with. So I'm going to start in this top corner. I'm going to think about painting clouds. It's really concentrated black right now. I'm going to put water on my brush, and then I'm just going to kind of spread it out, doing fluffy cloud shapes. And you're going to see that the purple in that corner starts to peek through. And that's what we want to see. We want to see the colors kind of peeking through.
We could stay out late until the sun sets past 8, and the cotton candy haze mirrors the warmth of your gaze. Raise your glass to mine, and as we drink, we would lock eyes, so we could disregard the thought of ever having to part. For summer is for falling in love.
Okay, isn't that so cool? I love watching it because as it dries, the colors just pull to the surface and you can see them coming through. So this is the easiest way that I found to do like the beginnings of a galaxy background. That's why I've shown it so many times in my videos, because I love it so much. Okay, I'm gonna come back to my Misty. So I'm using the Magic Stars background. This is going to give us more of a playful galaxy, I would say. If you want a more realistic galaxy, I would suggest splattering on white paint, like white gouache. That's going to give you some nice splatters. In fact, I still might do that after I emboss. We'll see. We're practicing good heat embossing techniques, so we're going to hit this with our anti-static powder tool. I saw people in the comments wondering where you could get one of these. Most craft stores do carry some sort of powder tool. Sometimes they're in a container like this, or maybe just a little bag that you can swipe over your project. When I'm done here live, I will make sure to put it in the supply list. All right, using Versamark. I really ink up this stamp. Stamp this down. Using my glider across. You could also even just use a rag. That'll help you go across and get a really good impression. And now I'm applying white embossing powder. This is Alabaster embossing powder from Burtis Monroe. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but that clear embossing powder was from Ranger. Oh, look how cute. Okay, galaxy background with our stars. I think those are so cute. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to the last background. Here's the last background. It's called Sexy Hexies. Isn't that cute? We're gonna do the stamping first, and then we're gonna start painting on top. I'm gonna do the background right on top. My watercolor paper is actually 5.5 by 5.5. I was cutting down a sheet and it was just a little bit oddly sized. So that's where we're at. Using my powder tool because we do practice good heat embossing skills here. Hitting that with my heat tool. Watercolor paper generally is very dry anyway. And so you don't get a whole lot of embossing powder going everywhere, but still good practice to put the powder on. All right, back to Versamark. And then directly down onto our project. I'm gonna use my glider again. Okay, so we've got that put there. And now we're gonna apply some more of that white embossing powder. I'm gonna heat set this until it's melted. Okay. Do you guys remember the watercolor background I did that was the first initial step in my first background? This one, it was like this, the under layer. I loved it so much and I was kind of sad to cover it up. So I'm going to try to replicate that on the Sexy Hexy background.
This lightness of being, we both know to be fleeting, like the last breath of a sunset right before the day is dead. But maybe the heat of today could keep even winter away. So I'll remember your laugh, 'cause nothing.
All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of the pink and just put it right through here. I'm gonna try to mask that kind of brown shade that's happening.
Never changes the fact that summer is for falling in love. Da-dun-da-dun-day. Summer is for falling in love.
And then we're gonna look at all three backgrounds. I use essentially the same colors on all three, but just altered how I did it. You can tell that these are the same colors, right? They just look different. In fact, that's the same color orientation. Isn't that so funny? And then we've got the stars in between. So those are our three backgrounds for today. I did have some like additional ways to finish these off into cards. I don't know that I have time for them today, so I'm just gonna point out what I was going to do. So for the stars background, I was going to use the Magical Word die set from Simon. It's going to use the magical, and then I was going to have the stamp set called Magical to Me. I've got the coordinating dies inside, but I was just going to say like every day is magical with you, or magical days ahead. I was just going to kind of pair those together and probably have the magical die cut out of some holographic cardstock, or maybe even like a silver foil. I think that would look really, really cool. So I was gonna use that with those. And then for one of these backgrounds, I'm not sure which it was going to be, one of them, I was going to use the CZ Design Wish I Could Hug You die set. One of my favorite word phrases from the entire release. I think I would probably cut it out with holographic cardstock as well, because these are so colorful, they would really lend themselves to a holographic look. So I would do that and possibly do the shadow in white, or even black, so that it stands out a little bit more. So I would use those. And then my third, like just finishing off idea, I was going to use the stamp set. I used this stamp set in my video on Wednesday night that I put up. This is the All About You stamps. And I was thinking of stamping it in and applying gold embossing powder and then fussy cutting out the words, you know, whichever greeting I decided to use. And then just putting it on the background. I think those are pretty like simple ways to finish off these cards. Kind of ways that you can let the background be the focal point, and but you still have a greeting on top. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope these 3 backgrounds give you some fun ideas on how to use watercolors with your background stamps. For your stamps that have really bold areas, maybe try a double painting technique. Paint the underlayer, stamp and clear emboss, and then paint more on top. If you got stars or anything that would lend itself to a galaxy, you could try a galaxy background, or just do a simple kind of colorful watercolor blended background. I think this technique could go for a lot of different backgrounds. Once again, thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys next week in a brand new video.